So the first UFC fight card of the entire year just took place, being Dern versus Ribas 2, and I've lost my voice. I did a live fight companion for this card, and let's just say things started to get very wild when Austin Bashi lost me a ton of money, and I had to start chasing losses. And boy, did I chase some losses successfully. Man, it was a good time. If you were there, you would have seen it. It was good. It was good. So shout out to everyone that come into the live stream. I might go live for 311. I think that's going to be a much better card for sports betting, because I think that there's going to be some good fights, some good results to be had. But as I said, I made a very small profit on this card. I turned $200 into $260, so it is what it is. Very small profit. I was up to a 310 at one point, but then I decided to double down on Ribas inside the distance, and we know how that went, unfortunately. As I said, I've lost my voice, so I apologize. Now, Aliyev started the fight card out pretty well. He won. First leg of the safety parlay from Angelo won there, which was pretty good to see. And Aliyev, he beat Joe Selicki in the way that everyone kind of expected him to. Got the takedowns easily. Selicki was throwing up some submissions from the bottom in the first round, and then towards the end, Aliyev did gas out a bit, and Selicki tried to have some moments towards the end of the third round, but Aliyev got it done. He won the fight. Klein went out there against Dudakova. Got the finish. Very good. I had money on Klein to win inside the distance, so that was very good for me. Dudakova went out there, gassed herself out, chin for takedowns over and over and over again against a better grappler. The game plan didn't exist. Fatima Klein eventually got the finish just because she is a really good grappler. Dudakova slapped her coach live on TV afterwards, so I don't know. That's my type. So Dudakova, if you ever wanted to message me back again, please do. Bruno Lopez did defeat Magomed Gadzhiasilov. He kind of just Mario Batista his way to a victory. Very frustrating loss to take, I'll be honest with you. I did have money on Gadzhiasilov, and I was hyping him up as a prospect. And this is the frustrating thing. And like, this might be a lot of cope, but it is what it is. You can't tell me that Lopez is the better fighter out of the two. Gadzhiasilov looked a lot more technical in the matchup. He was a lot faster in the matchup. But ultimately, Bruno Lopez just showcased like a very significant amount of strength in that clinch, and Gadzhiasilov just wasn't good enough to get out of those positions. So I guess Lopez won the fight on control time. It was boring. I finished huffing my copium. Lopez won the fight. Let's move on. Karakite won over Cagliari. I did pick Nicole Cagliari as a massive underdog, and I don't think she won the fight. I know it was a split decision. I think the rounds that they tried to give to Cagliari were round 1 and 3, but I thought Karakite won the first 2 rounds. I guess you could give Cagliari the third, but Karakite's good. I'm ready to call Karakite a prospect to look out for. Really tall for the weight class at 125 pounds. She could be taller than 5'9", honestly. She just is really long, and she uses that range well, and it's not very often you see fighters in general with really like gifted like heights and just kind of like builds like Karakite use it, and she fights from range very effectively. Good takedown defense as well. Jacoby Smith, he's my guy, man. I had money on Smith by KO. I had money on Smith inside the distance. I had Smith in a parlay because Smith was in a parlay with Aliyev as part of Angelo's safety parlay. He got it done in so many ways for me. Shout out to Jacoby Smith, and he looked good. Yeah, I mean, he got a quick KO with a massive left hook, knocked out Parsons out cold. It was unbelievable. He's going to be someone to watch at 170. Now, there was rumor that he was going to fight at 155. It sounds like he's going to stay at 170, and I don't mind it. He did look smaller than Parsons, but the thing about Smith is if you actually watch his older MMA fights, he was a lot smaller. This guy is gaining muscle. He is getting bigger, and I do think that Smith could fit in quite well at 170. I would like to see him get a bit of a step up in competition next. Maybe someone on the lines of like Trevin Giles, that kind of matchup I would like to see. Tiago Moises got it done against Ogden. I thought Moises was about to lose. I was coping in the live chat and my live stream. After the first round, Ogden was just piecing up Moises on the feet. I was like, Moises is done. He's washed before 30. I was accepting the loss. I was accepting defeat. But you know what? Moises, he come back. The second round, he dropped Ogden with a calf kick, controlled on top. The third round happened. Moises won the third round pretty clearly. Good performance from Moises overall. He started to look really good towards the end of the fight. But that first round, man, I don't know what he was doing. He didn't shoot for a takedown. Ogden was just piecing him up on the feet. Genuinely no idea what Moises was doing in the first round. No clue, but he did it anyway. Michael Tulio went out there, spent the entire fight looking for a highlight knockout. He didn't get his highlight KO, but he got a brutal KO win. Once again, I bet on Tulio to win inside the distance because I did think that there was a chance that Tulio was going to win by submission, just being a really talented grappler. And ultimately, Tulio ended up winning by KO in the first round. Feel bad for Potieria. He got fouled a couple times. He's been fouled so many times in his UFC career, but ultimately, his management has just been giving him really, really tough matchups the entire time he's been in the promotion. That's probably the last time we see Potieria. Unfortunately, Felipe Bunez beat Jose Johnson by submission. Very impressive performance from Bunez. I didn't see this coming at all. Yeah, I don't even really have that much copium to half on this one. It's just a really good performance from Bunez. Johnson, I would like to see him at 135. He missed weight. He has obviously just lost weight in general to make the weight cut easier to 125, but Johnson's a bantamweight, man. I just can't really be convinced that this guy should be fine at flyweight, especially standing at 6 foot tall. I don't really like it that much. He missed weight today. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where I think Johnson's ceiling is higher at 135, so I'd like to see Johnson back up at 135 after this. For Bunez, good performance for him. He looked good. Now we can move up to the man, the myth, the legend at this point, Pilo Hans Punahele, showcasing that, my goodness, does this guy still have it? I don't understand how he couldn't do this against Miguel Baeza, a man who has had his chin snatched so many times. He couldn't finish Miguel Baeza. He couldn't do it. Yet, out of nowhere, he knocks out Uroš Medic in 31 seconds. That's the thing about Pilo Hans Punahele. I know that I call him that, but let's be honest, guys. It is more of a joke than anything else. And if you guys don't know, I was not the one to actually give him that nickname. The one that gave him that nickname was actually the MMA Guru, but it has stuck with me. It is quite a funny one. He has gotten KOs in the first round before, but this is the best one he's gotten so far at 170. Looks good. He's got the wrestling background. As for Uroš Medic, he just got swarmed in court. Unlucky for him, I guess, but it's what it is. And this is where the fight card got interesting for me. This is where it got interesting for the live chat. Austin Bashi. The live chat was calling him all sorts of names. Now I'm not gonna talk down on him too much because he still gave it his all in that fight, but he stole from me. He stole from me. You know, I put money down on Austin Bashi. Now, to be fair, I will say this. In my prediction video, I did say I'm not that high on Bashi, as high as other people are, but I fell for the peer pressure. I made a mistake. I saw what other people were doing, and I got jealous. You know, I was like, what if they win all this money? I saw someone had $6,000 to win 100K, and Bashi by sub was the last leg. And I was like, I've got to be a believer. So I jumped on Bashi. I put $135 on Austin Bashi to win. And he shit the bed, unfortunately. The thing about Bashi is, I thought his striking was a lot better. It's just not that good. Unfortunately, he only shot for takedowns. So that's good to know for the future. And another thing as well, I know a lot of people were saying this in the comment section of my prediction video. I've been proven correct. Bashi's not a featherweight. He's not a featherweight at all. He looked smaller than Christian Rodriguez in this fight, and bear in mind, Christian Rodriguez was a bantamweight that was forced to 145 because he couldn't make the weight class, and C-Rod was bigger in that fight, somewhat significantly than Bashi is. And I know that you're talking about Bashi's got big legs, that's still muscle that you can drain to make the weight, and he's not a featherweight. He's just not a featherweight. I'm sorry, this guy's 5'6". Yes, height doesn't equal weight class, but you look at Isaac Dalgarian, he's a 5'6" featherweight, significantly bigger than Bashi. Significantly, not even close. Yeah, I just don't know. Bashi, he looked small in there against C-Rod, and that wasn't even against a real featherweight, you know what I mean? What would Bashi look like against Jonathan Pierce? What would he look like against Isaac Dalgarian? I don't know. I'm gonna stand by that. But anyway, after we lost all that money on Bashi, I think the whole world got fucked by Bashi there, to be honest. But then we started chasing losses. And I'll tell you guys, there's not many things that I'm better at in this world than chasing losses. So we went all in on Kopylov, moneyline and KO. I think I set it up in a way that if Kopylov won by moneyline, just one straight out, I would make my money back from the KO. But the ref, Mark Smith, he knew that we were in a dark situation. He knew that we were digging deep. He knew that we just got raw dogged by Austin Bashi. He knew that we needed to come back. And Mark Smith, he blessed us. This is the fight of the night, in my opinion. They might give it to Ponzi versus Harris, but I don't think they should. If the rewards come out yet on Tapology, not yet. I might just check the UFC Instagram, because they usually post it there. But in all seriousness, Kopylov versus Curtis was my fight of the night. It started out very high volume. I thought that Kopylov was looking really good, and then he started to really gas out a little bit there towards the end. Chris Curtis started the second round really hot, looking really good. Hurt Kopylov, cut him open a little bit. And aside from the very end of the second round, that was all Chris Curtis's round. And the third round started, and Kopylov started to find his flow state a little bit. Started kicking. He didn't kick. That's the thing that Kopylov was doing that was letting him down. He was boxing Chris Curtis. And you can't just box Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis is a boxer. So the third round starts, he starts kicking. He starts kicking the leg. He starts kicking the body. And then that starts setting up the hands. And then Kopylov rocks Chris Curtis pretty badly at one point. And in the final seconds of the round, this is where it gets controversial, but it is what it is. Kopylov kicks Chris Curtis, knocks him down pretty badly, and Chris Curtis is on his way up, and Kopylov walked away. This is where I think the fight shouldn't have been stopped, because if Kopylov was about to, was sprinting towards Chris Curtis, winding up like a big uppercut, then I could see the ref just pushing him away and say, no, Chris Curtis is done, but apparently Chris Curtis just looked KO'd, apparently, or something like that. And Kopylov wasn't going to follow it up. He was just going to take the win by decision, because I thought he was going to win 1 and 3. But yeah, he finished by KO. Shout out to Mark Smith. That is my boy. He set us up for major victory in the next one, because if you guys were there on the live stream, we then went all in again on Cesar Almeida. I already had a lot of money on Cesar Almeida to start with. By money line, I had him by KO. I had Cesar Almeida to win by round 2 KO. I had Cesar Almeida to win by round 3 KO. And I hedged by Abdulrazak Al-Hassan round 1 KO. But then, with all of those winnings from the Kopylov KO, we put it all on Almeida KO. All in. And Cesar Almeida, he come through clutch. My goodness, it was looking pretty bad at one point. I was accepting the defeat. I genuinely thought we lost it all. Abdulrazak Al-Hassan knocked him down with a massive straight right hand. Sat Cesar Almeida down. Almeida come back from the depths, you know, that's the thing about Cesar Almeida. This man has eaten left hooks from Alex Pereira before. You ain't knocking him down that easily. And then he gets rocked again. And I was like, oh, it's over. Like, Abdulrazak Al-Hassan, he hits hard. He's knocked people out in the first round many, many times before. I thought it was over. And Almeida, he channels the Alex Pereira of old. My goodness. I mean, this is Cesar Almeida we're talking about here, not Alex Pereira. Cesar Almeida. And he catches that left hook. And he sets it up, and he winds it up. I think almost like a Hail Mary. He winds up the left hook from his waist almost. He just throws it, and he knocks out Abdulrazak Al-Hassan cold. KO of the year contender already. It's going to be top 10. No doubt in my mind. What a fight. What a fight. I love it. It was fantastic. That's the knockout of the year contender. It's going to be top 10 by the time the end of the year does roll around. Co-main event happens. Ponzi versus Harris. Didn't bet on this one, because I was feeling pretty good. I'd made a bit of money so far on the card. I was feeling good, happy as. Didn't bet on it. I was like, this is just kind of like two older guys. And Ponzi, he looked bad in this fight. I'll be honest with you guys. He did not look like the Ponzinibbio of old. It's been pretty clear now that Ponzinibbio is not the same fighter he was a few years ago. But in this one, it was kind of showcased even more. Harris is not a good striker. You go into war against Carlston Harris on the feet. Now, it was a fun fight, it really was, but Harris knocked him down, Ponzinibbio knocked him down, Harris down as well. It was a fun fight. This could be fight of the night. I thought it was Kopylov Curtis, I'll be honest, but it could be fight of the night. It was a good fight. But Ponzi, in the first round, man, 1-2. 1-2. I genuinely believe he threw it 6 or 7 times in about a 45-second span, and Harris picked it up and he just started jabbing. Oh no, he's a southpaw, wasn't he? Anyway, he's throwing his left hand, just in counter, straight down the pipe, and Ponzi was getting caught by it over and over and over again. And then Ponzi got rocked all over the place. I thought that the fight could have been stopped, honestly. I thought it was over. He carried on somehow. Harris in the third round, Ponzi knocked him down badly. Harris somehow survived, somehow. And then Harris was getting pieced up towards the end, and he was throwing back. And this is, once again, a bit of a controversial stoppage. I don't hate it, I'll be honest, because I think that the ref did save Harris from like a lot of like unnecessary damage. I'll be honest, like I feel like Harris, if the fight carried on, Ponzi was about to flatline knock him out, and I know it would have been a cool performance from Ponzi, but Harris is 38 years old himself, you know what I mean? I don't really want to see Harris getting slept badly, so yes, controversial stoppage. Harris was in the middle of it, but I do genuinely think that Harris wasn't going to make a comeback, and I think that Ponzi was going to like knock him out pretty badly, so I don't hate the stoppage that much. And then Dern versus Ribas happened. I picked Ribas, and this is where I lost a bit, I'll be honest. I had, here's the thing, at this point in the night, I had, I bet $50 on Dern versus, on Ribas to win inside the distance a long time ago, like a few days ago. And then I put another 50 on. So we had turned $200 into 310 at this point, including the 50 that I'd already put on Dern versus Ribas. So technically I turned $150 into 310. So that would have been like a nuts night if you think about it, huh? But the thing, I realized during my live stream I need to buy a new PC, and I can't afford a new PC. So I was like, let's put another 50 on. So I had $100 in total on Ribas to win inside the distance, following Jacob's lock of the week. It didn't happen, but it's all good. I don't really have too many regrets because, as I said, still made profit for the night, and we're going to make millions on UFC 311 anyway. I'm very confident about that card. I think there's money to be made on that card. I cannot wait for that card. But talk about the fight. Dern got a takedown somewhat early into the first round after Ribas seemed to be doing the better work on the feet. Seemed to be is the key word, because Dern apparently landed more volume. She controlled on top for the rest of the round. Second round happens, Dern goes for a takedown, Ribas reverses it, controls on top for the entire round, pretty much. And Ribas also got cut, somehow, in the second. Third round happens, same thing as the second round. Except this time, Dern was able to reverse Ribas with like a pretty decent amount of time left in the round. I want to say like 1 minute, 2 minutes. And she starts working for an armbar, and she attempted this armbar many, many times. But it kind of was just like a PTSD from the Ronda Rousey days. Not really PTSD, that's the wrong word, but like memories of Ronda Rousey. Like Ronda Rousey would get in the position that Dern was in very regularly and often. And Dern eventually finished the position and got the armbar. Very good performance from Dern with the finish, I would say. Now, was the fight very entertaining? No, it wasn't. But like, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, Dern is not on a CTE speedrun anymore, apparently. So, good for Dern. A little bit sad, a little bit of copium, a little bit sad. I'll be honest, my picks were pretty terrible as well for the night, I'll be honest. How many did I get wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my goodness, this was a shocker. 5, 6, 8 and 6. Oh no! How washed am I? What a start to the year. What a horrific start to the year, boys. No, that can't be right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yikes, boys. 8 and 6 start of the night. Hey, we made money, huh? Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think of the card. I'm going to do UFC 311 predictions tomorrow because I've lost my voice. Genuinely lost it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.